to yet another episode on Afro Science podcast.
Why did you
Oh, it's still a podcast. It's still a podcast. Yeah, man. Ish. This guy.
It's like running cars.
So we decided to do something a little different with the challenge, of course. The t-shirt giveaway will be on the 5 random comments from now onwards. Right?
Which platform?
YouTube, of course. It has to be on YouTube.
It's not Facebook.
It has to be on YouTube. It gotta be on YouTube. Facebook has got a lot of traffic already, so we want to do the challenge in there. So welcome guys yet to another episode. We're still here, still live and kicking. We're still ready to give you the show. And Brandon is still here. You wanna say hi to this guys? Because you're inexpensive.
Yo, I've been around. How are you guys?
Peter, you've been super expensive. Say hi to our friends.
Hi guys. Hi Peter.
That voice.
It's you who's been expensive.
I know guys, apologies. Last week we couldn't make it. Someone was a near deathbed experience, but I'm glad I'm back on the show. Feeling quite alright. But anyways, it's not about me today. It's about you guys and the awesome topic we have today.
On the 5th episode.
Yeah, bro. He had to mention the 5th.
Yo, man.
The 5th. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So excited.
Exactly. So we're going to talk about culture. And I know it's an interesting subject because it took Brendan 2 weeks to bond, to think about what he was going to say.
I'm still thinking, by the way.
So, like you said, we made a post like the other week.
Yeah.
It was a question we say, is culture your identity? What do you think? Is your culture your identity? Are you identified by your culture?
Oh, it's deep, yo. It's deep. But I think so.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
It's two-sided.
I know. Yeah. But then I also noticed that there is the word culture, then there's this word that kept on popping up. So there's like culture, heritage, identity. There's like quite a lot of stuff in there.
It's like, oh.
Yeah, and then it's all connected. Like your culture, your lifestyle, your way of doing things.
Traditions.
Yeah, exactly. Tradition. I was looking for the word tradition. Like culture and tradition, like they intertwine. Yeah, they intertwine. So normally when we speak of culture, we refer to our traditions, which is not wrong because I then found out that tradition is actually part of the culture.
Let us learn.
Today I'm teaching.
We are your students.
No, like seriously, it makes sense. It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Like tradition is part and parcel of the culture. Like culture is so broad and big, and then in the culture you find things like traditions.
So can you like define culture without mentioning tradition?
I don't think so. I think they're closely related in a way that when you're asked to define culture, you also tap into your lifestyle, traditions, rituals, and all the things that you do. Like for us, look closely on African culture. Mm-hmm. When we look at African culture, we quickly jump onto traditions. Yeah, we quickly jump onto the way we worship, the way we do certain rituals, the way we dress. It's all part of tradition. And tradition also now mainly comes out when we look at angles where, you know how in Shona it is, like Mamukase, you're expected to greet an elderly person on the road. You're not supposed to pass by. Like each morning you come up and say good morning, like Mamukase. In the afternoon, like Masquera say, in the evening, like, Maneru. that's part of the tradition. Like it's a tradition. These are like tiny things that are expected of you within the culture. But culture then like relates to a group of people in an area. Like culture can affect the whole area. Like today we're shooting in Eastview. We can say culture of Eastview. But then we also look into traditions within the Eastview community. You get what I'm saying?
Makes a lot of sense.
You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? No, like it took me a while to think about what are we going to talk about. Like, do we know this stuff or no? Because I feel like we're gonna jump into the topic very shallow. Like it was gonna be too shallow, and then we're gonna struggle about a lot of things. So as a way we felt that me reading and explaining about all these other things, it was necessary. I don't know, what do you think?
I think both of us are here to do that.
Yeah, right?
Did you?
No, you did.
You did.
But then, as a Christian podcast to say, we are kind of forced to relate to culture, and we kind of miss the gospel culture. Never. That's impossible. That's impossible.
So the definition of culture doesn't differ
Who's distracting me?
Now, because that was we actually distinct. It's fine. So we're gonna cut the footage and record it and wait. How do you say this word? Alright, so I don't know, what were you saying?
So like defining culture, the definition, is it now different when we bring in the gospel? Like,
No, I feel like, there are quite a lot of stuff we can talk about, right? Actually, we are talking about it, so it doesn't sound like we're planning. No, like, it's quite complex to speak about cultures and stuff, but we also have our cultures. Then so we have the traditional culture, allow me to put it that way. Like we're Africans, the gospel was new to us. We already have a lifestyle that we've been living before.
so more like the gospel was a new culture.
Yeah, it's a new culture that is coming.
We had ours, the African tradition.
Exactly, that's where we are. Like we have our tradition, but we also have our culture. No, like think about we had ethnic groups. Think about ethnic groups in Zim. Now we have the Shonas, the Ndeweles, the Rojis and stuff. These were like different ethnic groups. And today, in modern days, we still have like the Manika people, they're still there. We have the guys who come from Choko and stuff, they're still there. We have guys that come from like Mount Darwin, Zaraban, they're still there. And if you look at these groups, they're different in the way they do their stuff.
Yeah, I just like the way he's putting it out, especially to do with that when we were talking about these ethnic groups.
Yeah.
There are actually two major groups. They are known as like the Nguni and the Bantu. So you can see that the difference between these people.
But the Nguni were they not part of the Bantu?
No. So the Nguni people, they're the ones that click or that use a different tone from the Bantu people.
Yeah.
So us, we come from the Bantu people.
Oh.
So within the Bantu people now are different ethnic groups. Like what you're saying, the Shonas. And although Shona is like, they say it's just a panel of languages. It's more like there is a lot of.
It affects like the Manika peoples and what. It's all shown up, but somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow.
So you will see that the people from Kenya coming down to Zimbabwe and so forth, you guys, you can actually understand each other.
Yeah. Swahili is like actually similar to Shona.
So you guys can understand each other, but you use different tones and stuff to portray some things. Within the Nguni now, they actually understand each other, but with different lingo. That's the only thing. So the Xhosa, the Zulu, the Ndebele, those people, they can actually understand each other. But they call themselves Xhosa because of the way they speak. And they call themselves Ndebele because of the way they speak. So that's also, in terms of language, I think it plays a crucial role to put about traditions.
Yeah, they ought also to be different in the way they live. Plus, besides, a culture can be developed over time in an area.
Yeah.
Like you come, you stay in an open space, you can begin your own culture.
I know the culture.
Yeah, you can begin your own culture of like, this is how I want it to be, this is how I like it. In over 100 years, people are like, yeah, this is our culture, this is who we are.
Isn't that like how it started?
It is, man. It was interesting, like how
Two people, like one ruling, then they start incorporating other people.
Exactly. That's how they started. So it can start with like individuals or a certain group, but it can also be shared. That's how now you start to see that the Nguni people, no matter they were in Kenya, Tanzania, or DRC, they have like similar way of doing things.
You could actually tell that this is a Nguni by the way they do it.
But then within the Nguni, you then ask,
this is a pause.
Where are you from? Where are you from? I'm like, yeah, we are from this side. And I'm like, oh, you're Nguni, but you are from this part of the country. So that's like culture is built, but then shared, and then it also evolves.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about, you guys in Nigeria. You can actually tell that this is Nigerian by the way they dress.
No, but it's hard. So what do you say about guys from like Ghana?
Now it's me.
Like the clothes.
I'm just saying from that side. You can actually tell. Yeah.
I think you would not pinpoint or narrow it down to a country.
No, I'm just saying but you'll be like, isn't that
this guy's from West Africa?
Isn't that West Africa? That's their culture, right? It's more like a culture thing that they do. That they wear those kind of garments.
Yeah.
When they come here, we look at them and be like, this guy is the first country that comes to your mind. You just say this is Nigeria.
Yeah, what are those called? Those ropes? What are they called? Like you have this colorful question. One called fugu.
What? Yeah, the fugu, man.
Fugu. What is it used for?
Yeah, you said
Is it like the royal dress? Because I know when it's a wedding, they gotta put on stuff like that. Is it the one that they use on the royal or festives or what?
Yeah, like for me, I never really dig into like much of the culture, and I never fully understood how they do.
No, but you being there for the duration,
but I also
picked one or two things. You survived in the culture.
Yeah, you can see like when it's a wedding, we have certain people dressing certain ways, and we have certain colors for weddings.
Yeah.
I was familiar with gold, white, and blue. I think those are wedding colors.
Yeah.
That's what they do that side.
Have you ever like when you were in Ghana? Did you ever like went close? I know there's a king right in Ghana. Is that king?
You have
No, come on, like traditional kings. Don't they have those? I was watching the Idris Elba, the gold documentary.
Yeah, they do have some.
And then they showed like a festive where the king has to wear like gold.
Bro.
Yeah.
Like his clothes would be clothes, of course, normal cotton and stuff. But then he's got like jewelry on him, like huge, massive, like ornaments and jewelry on him. And then they say on the documentary they did mention that the king he has to wear like most of.
It's an expression of
like
power.
Earrings, crown, then chain.
Pure gold.
No, I'm like gold, bro. That was gold,
Bro, I'm just looking at you and you're like, wish it was me. Oh, the goats, they belonging to me.
No, when they see that, they put value on it. They don't mean it like you. You're actually seeing millions. Like,
Man, imagine.
you're actually seeing millions and stuff like that. So that's wrong. That's wrong. You gotta stop thinking of your feet in that way.
But I understand, like you were saying, like, you know, just simply seeing someone and how they dress, you can actually come to a conclusion like, oh, they are from this part of Africa.
Exactly.
Yeah. Although nowadays things are like mixed up.
Yeah,
cultures are diluted, and, you know.
I don't think it's really diluted, but we are this era. We're sharing cultures like crazy. I know, like I said on that question that you posted on Facebook, that is your culture, your identity. No, with what's happening today, we think or we are inclined to feel that cultures are deteriorating or they're vanishing. But I think it's cultures that are evolving. And now with internet, man, it's worse. Like we're sharing cultures more than we ever did back then.
I was at work and then I met these guys from Ghana. And you know, the first thing they asked me, said, yo, I've been to Zimbabwe like a couple of times, but I haven't found a restaurant, you know, that just prepares food from Ghana. One thing, you know, that I just loved the fact that they wanted to embrace their own food, even though they ain't foreign food.
They wanted to be home.
Yeah, they wanted to be home. Even though there are many restaurants of, you know, Ghanaian food.
But come to think of it, do you know what?
Yeah.
I was about to say I don't know any Ghanaian.
They didn't do their research.
I didn't do the research, but I'm pretty sure they did.
Do you know what? Where's what?
It's like Ghana and Nigeria, the food is almost
the food is the same. So when you find a
Nigerian restaurant, then
wait, so these guys you're talking about, they were in Nigeria.
No.
They were in Zim. But
But
I mean, Zim, do we have a restaurant
that's pretty Western.
Yeah. I only know of a Tanzanian.
so if there is a Tanzanian there,
I actually met a guy.
I've actually been to the Tanzanian club.
I actually met a guy from Nigeria. He owns a shop somewhere in CBD, and we had a conversation, and he was telling me like where he gets some of his stuff, like the plantain. You know, the plantain. Where he gets the plantain.
Peter, just say bananas.
What banana?
Banana. It's a banana. Plantain.
Bananas.
Guys, don't let me confuse you when you say plantain. They mean banana.
It's not banana.
But it's like a different kind of banana.
Yeah. So
It's not the one.
let's just call it what they call it.
Plantain.
Yeah, plantain.
No, but you know, that's the confusing part. So I'll tell you one time, shout out to this guy that I saved with at some point. He said, you know, still in the lines of culture and traditions and stuff. So you know how the Manika people would call Mashoshe like ants? They would call them Masons. Yeah, so one day I was with this guy, we were companions on mission, and then he said, what are Masons? I was like,
Wow.
you know, for the moment I was blanking and I was like, what are you talking about? I mean Mashoshe ants. I was like, dude, you could have just said ants in one sentence instead of confusing me. So, but then, you know, you gotta tolerate and appreciate our diverse backgrounds in diverse cultures. Like, there's a way of doing it, way of saying it, but plantain is bananas.
Plantain
It's not banana. Bananas are
banana.
Plantain is a different variant of bananas.
You can't eat a raw plantain.
You can't.
You can't.
So it's not.
You can't just get
It's not entirely banana.
Yeah, it's different.
You cook,
But they look like
you
bananas.
have to cook it or fry it. Yeah, they look.
Come on, it's just a tradition that people have to cook it.
It's not a tradition. It's the proper way to do it.
Man, but why is it that, you know, whenever a guy from, you know, Western Africa, they
West Africa.
West Africa, Western, yeah? Like we're talking about that. But yeah, West Africa. When they land into maybe, I would just say Zimbabwe, they start looking for that.
That's the same thing when
No,
I,
that's what they used.
when I landed in Ghana.
Yeah.
I was looking for Sadza.
What's up with
I
us?
found Sadza with a different name, with a different taste.
Bro.
It was not Sadza.
It wasn't tasting
I can
like
imagine how you feel.
It wasn't tasting like home.
I was disappointed.
No, but
But it's again my favorite.
oh, so can you make that?
I know, I just said okay.
Why can't you?
Bro, you didn't
I
learn.
didn't have to.
Dude, you spent 2 years in Ghana and you tell me you can't make this version of something.
The thing, man, is like I had problems with some of the food.
Man, I only spent like, I was once in Lesotho for like 6 to 7 months, but I can make pap.
You mean Sata?
Oh.
Yeah. And also,
You see, they were talking about cultures, embracing cultures. You said I can't say plantain is banana, so please,
Plantain is
respect. Pap is pap.
so Sata is one. So yeah, did you know that it's different Sata that you make in Zimbabwe as the one that you make in Kenya?
Ugali.
Yeah, ugali. They call it ugali.
It's hard.
Besides, it's a hard.
You can actually cut this.
Who's the guy? Yeah, I know a guy there. You know Bojo?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bojo. Yeah, he used to make that in Nation.
Bro.
Man, it will come out like a cake, like a whole piece of cake.
Man.
How do they even like, put it in your plate? It just like
No, like you would come with the pot and be like, flip it on the plate, and then once it is on the plate, you start to cut it. Like you can't even do it like you do it with your normal
actually cut it.
Yeah.
And then you start eating it.
Yes.
Bro, it's so easy when you're eating it.
But it was nice. I loved it. To some extent, I loved it.
So that's a different way
Yeah.
they do their stuff.
It's ugali and we call it salsa.
And you call it pap.
Pap. Yeah. When you're down in South Africa, we call it pap.
Bro. Salsa is
it's everywhere.
It's actually changing from one place to another, but it's the same thing. So this is what we're trying to say, that you know what, in Africa, we actually have a way of doing things. And sometimes we're doing the same thing, but calling it a different thing.
Yeah, that's now. You remember when you were talking about the Ngoni people stuff? It means our origin at some point has to be one place.
There's something in common.
Yeah, we have something in common.
Even like the language.
Yeah, people they moved from
Yeah.
the west.
Yeah, some
They moved from the west.
moved to this way. To
So we were like one, bro.
But we are one. We are one.
So we're the
I think the fact is we are one. We are one people.
Hey,
We evolved from
USA, United States of Africa.
bro.
Man, that sounds political.
Okay. Afro saints. Does that sound
Alright, no, of course. When you put it in the lines of like Afro saints, we are one, it sounds okay. When you say USA, United States of Africa, it sounds like we're now pushing a different agenda. Political. We are not doing that.
protected by the display?
I know, this is Peter's opinion.
Yeah, but into that, you know, how cultures differ from one place to another. It's quite interesting though. Because, as you say, you can start your own culture today with different traditions. So, we're saying that traditions, they accumulate to become a culture.
I know.
So, bro, the people that once lived here, back in the day, you see, like we were talking about the Shonas. The Shonas, you find that the Zazuru is different from the Wansu, and the Wansu is different from the Mureo.
Jazz.
You see, even now when they speak, you
Kalam.
yeah, bro.
You have like different ethnic groups.
But all those people, they have, you know, same traditions. They share the same beliefs. I would love to say that the way they portray their God is just the same way the Zulus would portray their own God. So before this gospel that you talked about, before this Christianity came through, they shared the same beliefs. Although they had the different ways of doing it.
Like they had like different rituals for everything.
Yeah.
When you mean the rituals, we don't mean like diabolical devilish things. The rituals are like practices. Yeah, things that you
Because I'm just thinking,
like you have a way of worshiping, that's a ritual. You have a way of doing certain things, it's a ritual.
bro.
So we don't make the diabolical thing.
Yeah.
You know, the kind of ritual where you're like about to kill someone, sacrifice someone. Not like fancy understanding, you know, perception. Yeah. When you say the word ritual,
people.
Our people, in their mind, they're already seeing
Our people.
Our people.
Hey, that accent.
Our people.
That sounds political.
No, it doesn't. Since we're on a culture thing, I think it's safe for me to imitate like different ethnic groups.
Exactly.
Our people. Our people. Our people. Our peoples.
I see.
Yeah.
So with that, it just gives us a sense of belonging, to this African continent.
Yeah, but now you are coming to the identity.
So that's a bro.
So are you saying now our culture identity? I think it does. I think it does.
It does identify us.
Remember what you brought up earlier. You said when you landed in Ghana, the first thing you looked for was anything familiar to home.
And then when you find
the oxygen.
are you from Zimbabwe?
I mean, I have oxygen, of course.
You're like, are you from Zimbabwe?
No, but you had to look for something that makes you settle in and feel like home.
Yeah.
In your case, you looked for SARS.
You'll be looking for everything.
You love food.
Even number plates.
They are just look for anything that is familiar to
In the class, you want to see like
Exactly.
the ones with FBA.
Exactly. So I think in a way, it's your identity. You feel at home when you are in like Libya, when you are in Ghana, Nigeria, or wherever you are that is not your home country. You start to feel like you need to look for anything that makes you feel like you're at home.
Exactly.
So with that being said, I think we have actually nailed it that it's your identity.
We'll get back to that.
Culture is.
Come on now, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
it is.
Culture is what it identifies with.
Exactly. It is. You'll be home once you see your fellow in America dressed like you. Okay, think about it. You are in Los Angeles. Someone shouts in shoulder from the distance. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? You're like, what? No, you're like, what whooping? Like you start to think, oh, come on, there is someone from my country. You gotta love. Man, I stayed in a foreign country. You guys also did. But when you hear someone who speaks your own language,
Man, it's a different feeling.
it's a different feeling. You're like, did I hear that? Are they from Z? Wow. You have this
Even like an NTC, yeah, like when you meet the other elements, the other citizens, reading their name tags,
you're like, you can even start speaking in your own language. You're like,
Man, I had this, from a friend of mine in UK though.
Yeah.
I had them singing song about
so they can
they say that what happens when they land in UK, they find each other.
Yeah.
So when you get into a problem or maybe a death happens, man, they gather together as Zimbabweans.
That's what I'm
singing, and they mourn together. So you see, that's a culture.
I know if you follow the comic pastor, yeah, he's been like hosting events in Zimbabweans,
bro,
in the UK,
which is a good thing.
They're doing like festives, activities, parties.
The Zimbabwean.
Yeah, like the Zimbabwean style kind of
in a
parties.
foreign country.
In a foreign country.
I think it's just.
I hope it doesn't disturb the cultures in that country.
Like we've already said, culture can be shared.
Yeah, I hope they understand.
I mean, look at us. Zimbabwe is by majority, it's like percentage of Zimbabweans, like pure Zimbabweans. Then there is people who came in from like neighboring countries. I'm of Malawian origin.
So am I.
Yeah. So you think about it, you're like, yeah, Zimbabwe is made up of like different groups. You have like people of Zambian origin, Malawian origin, Mozambican origin. I don't know if you have South African origin.
From my research, I just looked into it. I realized that what you're saying about foreign people in Zimbabwe. Man, I'm just thinking, capacity to navigate and then you will see with Muno there is a percentage of white people that came from the West. It's like 8%.
No, they came from the West. No, they are part of us now.
No, I'm just saying that, you know, foreign people,
Like they originated somewhere.
they come from a different, maybe, or wherever they came from, but they accumulate to 8%
Yeah.
of our population.
Yes.
So think of it.
They actually want to know what it is. They are now Zimbabweans.
Yeah, they
like they are part of us.
They're sharing their
Just because they now share culture with us, they automatically identify as Zimbabweans.
Of course, now when you come to like how countries do boundaries and so forth, and the nationality, citizenship and stuff, they are Zimbabwean. But also because we share culture now, they are also part of it. Think about it back in the days when there's like a traveler will come into a village, they would allow you to come in. That person will be taught how to survive or to live as the group that accommodate you. And then after some time, that person will marry and stay and be part and completely like integrated into the community or their culture.
Isn't that something that shows your citizenship?
Yep.
Or it's an
No. Come on.
Your citizenship, your identity.
No, think about it now. Now we can't. Like this is now the part where we say it's evolving. You're born in Zim, you're Zimbabwean, it's fine. But there were also people who were born in Zim and then would go and stay in certain countries. It depends on the laws of the country. Like you go and stay in the country for like 5 years. I know countries will do like 5 years. You qualify for citizenship. So I think culture is far much more bigger than just boundaries.
Okay. Now it makes sense if it's put that way.
Because we have people who migrated to different countries. Some of them now do this. Think of like Strive Masil. When the newspaper article came or internet article, it was like British billionaire.
Oh, just because it's in there, like.
Yeah, now he has like citizenship. Yeah. So I don't think culture and nationality
Can limit
can limit you to anything. Or we can even define the Zimbabwe by birth or Zimbabwe by now. We have people who came into the country and started to live like us. And
So how the culture is evolving, we can say it's a good thing. Oh yeah?
Oh, they're good. There's good to it. There's also bad to it. No, think about it. Like, I'm not attacking anyone here. I'm not attacking anyone here, but cultures sharing and doing all this, evolving, it means that in a way we are becoming something different than we were. A good example would be about the African cultures. We've always been against what do you call it, like the LGBTQ community. That wasn't us in the beginning, right? But look at what's happening. Countries are investing there slowly and doing that. So that's a culture that is already coming in. You get it?
Yeah.
We also have, look at how we're doing Malobolo these days. Men, girls, I don't know what
Bride price.
Yeah, the bride price has always been there. It was part of the African culture.
The road,
Yeah, but the roller squads and whatever, they're all now dressing like South Africans.
Man,
So that's now already a culture that we are.
I think back in the day, kind of rural or just about but nowadays, Mamtonzi put my sweets here and I put my sweets in
On the list, grocery list, there's sweets and biscuits for kids.
What's changing?
No, that's how we're evolving. And think about it, we're also evolving in a way you could see. Back in the day when you wanted to marry someone, you'll be told, that the rural homestead, that's their home. So you go there, that's where you do it, you go and do everything. If you come back to the cities, you live your life the city way, but you gotta go in and do it back in the roots, like the roots. Yeah. So we're now changing. Think about it. When you now want to marry someone, they can even do it in Highfields or in Boron.
Bro, you can actually hire a place.
Yeah,
You can
hire a place where you want to do it. Right.
And the decoration.
That's how the culture is evolving. And the other part also is an adjustment that was brought about by Christianity. No, it wouldn't be Christianity. We can't nail Christianity on this point, but religions that came onto the African continent.
So it's different culture.
Yeah, different culture. So of Christianity, we have what we call the Islam. You name it, like Hindu. Yeah. Catholic was like Christianity, but the Italian version of Christianity. So we had these religions coming, and most of our family relatives, they also were adapted or adopted into those kind of religions.
Just remind us.
So when the African continent were like Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, even the East Africa, there's like quite a number of the Islamic. Yeah,
They say when
even
you
here in the city.
do as the Romans do. When you were in Mashona, do as the
No, but I don't think it's like that.
Does it
That's
work?
the laws of the land.
Does it work?
Which
When you were in, did it work for you when you were in Ghana? You had to
We are the ones saying
No, he picked one or two about their cultures and stuff.
there are certain things that were necessary for me to learn,
Yeah.
so that I'm actually fitting and so that it helps me to get the gospel to the people, so that they don't see me as a quite like
just a foreigner or something.
foreigner, a real stranger.
Yeah.
You have to adapt. They are like, okay, this guy can relate, so we'll try and relate to him. But there are certain things you have to learn, so that you are not found on the wrong side of the law. Because most laws and culture, they don't really like, separate. It's
And
more like,
yeah, actually the culture is its laws.
did you see?
There are things you're allowed to do, things that
So
you're
certain things you have to adapt, so that when you're going in your day-to-day work,
So should we say that also, I would say cultures came about with, I would say, Me Too.
Yep, I think so. I don't know how to spell it. I tried to look for it, but
Because
I
what-
couldn't find it.
no.
I'm totally zero.
Yeah, it's just making sense when one can actually start a culture.
Yeah, culture can be
Because they will say that we are identifying ourselves as, let's say,
Komias.
Anatol.
And then the Komias will say, oh,
We are Tokos. Or we are Shumba. So we're going to behave in a certain way.
Yeah.
Lion behaves. So that's when they will start to say,
yeah. And then 10 generations down, they're still maintaining
they
it.
maintain that identity. Because it's also identified as a Shumba.
Yeah,
And
because
Abajari was Shumba.
I don't know if it was because of that.
No, so one thing about totems, one thing about totems, so why they had to become like a thing, it's because they wanted to conserve or preserve the wildlife. They were doing it to preserve.
Isn't it because they feel like animals lie and
No,
we are one?
No. So if you look into my animals, so you are not, if I were as MBs, if I happen to see you attacking,
That's a zebra.
yes,
Not how we can say zebra, not zebra.
MBs, I would actually defend MBs. I will make sure that I stop you from attacking. If you,
Is that how it
so
works?
I will start because you.
yes, and if you're in my land and you are attacking my animals, my guy, that's a problem.
Who eats a lion?
Nobody.
I don't know.
Nobody, but learning through the African tradition, we learned that it was a way of preserving these animals and making sure that they are not attacked or anything.
Oh.
So that's another thing. And I'm on the way to the one. My told you that
I say no one annoyed Mundakuna. I want Mundakuna. I know.
Also say.
But the other Gumbo, I know we have another Gumbo.
Yeah.
And I don't know Gumbo. I don't know. If there's anyone annoyed Gumbo, please tell us Gumbo. We have Amoyo. But I wonder, there was this joke that was going around like Matewa. No, but which was crazy to think of. But you also have guys that eat mutupo. Like, what's up with this?
It was prohibited.
No, we have guys that do.
No, it's the. But you see, kuti rainzi ukadya nguru unodona mazinga. Ukadya mutupo wako.
But when it didn't happen,
Someone else like this, you know.
I think so. It happened.
I think so.
Because if it became a norm, if it became a norm, then I think somewhere it happened. Because you can't just come up with this idea.
No, come on, Brendan. People started saying that they were not going to
And then what?
And then what? Look at us now. We did it. So favorite people.
So I think those are part of traditions.
Yeah, those are not traditions, like part of the culture. Yeah.
Exactly.
But then
maybe
some of these things were realistic.
Some of these things they were there for a reason.
Yeah.
They were to create certain guidelines.
In a nutritional value.
You don't do certain things.
Certain things.
Yeah, you don't do certain things.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know there had to be reasons why they
So if they give you like, okay, the consequences are like this, then you would have some form of fear.
But what do you think were the reasons behind a family, an African family, slaughtering a chicken to have as a meal for a meal? And then they're like, yeah, soup goes to the kids, and Zondoras goes to this guy, and the thighs goes to to the father of the house, or the chicken breast.
Which one is
No, the drumstick doesn't have flesh, man.
it goes
This drumstick doesn't have flesh. I'm telling you, listen to me.
my guy, you
But there's sort of like there's sort of like a worship that was created around the drumstick there. And I'm like, yeah, the drumstick and the thigh, that's the father's meat.
Exactly.
Yeah, our cultures, man, they had a lot.
So if you look at especially the things to do with the totems,
Yeah.
you would see that as Zimbabwe, when Zimbabwe started, it was the model that were like overseeing the whole place.
What do you mean?
You would go back to Great Zimbabwe.
Okay.
That the leaders of the Great Zimbabwe were the model.
Really?
Yes, they were the Moyo totem.
No,
wait. So it's Great Zimbabwe that started as a state, Then it moved.
No, but there were other states.
No, the big states.
Oh, okay.
The big states. Then they moved from, this is so funny. They moved from Great Zimbabwe to Mutara. Where they created a Mutapa state.
Alright.
And then they moved from Mutapa to come to Erosa state.
I feel like I'm back in school, learning
No, you're not learning. You taught us in the first grade. So all these people, they were models. But within them now, there were people that wanted that they would capture along the way. And these people.
Yeah, because some of the states were created out of wars, slaves, and
these
prisoners of war.
Yeah, and these people would say, we are not the models.
We're not gonna be identified.
Yeah, we are not identified as humans. We are going to remain as maybe the Kumbos.
Oh.
We are going to remain as, or the people that would want to revolt against the state.
Look at me with this face.
So the people that want to revolt against the state, if we are models, we are models. I would want to, disengage you guys. I would go away from you, then I will go and start my own.
Like it was reasonable for you just to walk away.
No.
Once the kingdom starts dying, so we're like, hey kids, remember, we're not Moyos, we're here because we were prisoners of war.
Yeah.
So now that the state is
dying, incorporated.
So they were, but still,
they would become big, bro.
Would they lose their identity?
No, they would become big states. They would become big states that one day they will not really monitor the whole thing.
Yeah.
So now these people will be like, this guy is getting old. Let us see. So I'll take Pete, I'll take you.
Like they would
yeah.
Think about like the Zulu kingdom, the Shaka Zulu kingdom, and then I would walk away. Then they really, they were part of the kingdom. Yeah.
And they got. So this is what happened. So everyone now in Zimbabwe has their own totem.
Yeah,
But if you look back, you can actually trace that these are one people. They just want
They were identified.
as Moyos. But because they wanted to revolt against the Moyo ruling, then they became.
They're like, now we are the lions.
We're going to eat all the Moyo hearts.
No, it makes sense though. Like, but you know what? One thing that I found weird about our cultures, especially around Zim, is you can't ask about all these things you don't know.
You can.
Like you go to our elderly people and start asking questions. Somebody who is
But why?
disobedient.
Someone forgot.
I don't know, like it's necessary that we know who we are and where we came from.
So the way history is being passed on now is
Like oral.
changed.
Oral tradition, yeah.
No more nganos on go.
No, but come on, would you listen to a Ghana?
Bro, with your TikTok, with your views,
Why not?
Man, people are busy these days, man. They're always on the phone. And there was like, kids, drop off your cell phones, come here, gather around.
You see that's not making everything go away.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because
the new culture.
come on, the new cultures brought the cell phones. And they
Doesn't mean we have to fully embrace the new culture. We talk
I don't know, do you think that we should know?
I mean, people were incorporated in the Moyo, but still they identified as I'm Bumbo.
Yeah.
I'm in a Moyo circumstance state, but I'm still a Bumbo. You know, so you, like the new culture that's coming to you, does it mean that you have to fully embrace that culture and leave the culture that you had before?
Alright, so here's a question. Let me answer you with a question, which is our norm in Zimbabwe.
What a culture!
Let's do it.
So, would you say that we shouldn't do it?
I would.
Okay, fine. Cell phones coming in, that's a culture that we created. Internet, social media.
Bro,
Like, we've totally changed the way we do things. Are we saying that we should not do
We
it?
should come to an extent, you should have limitations.
I think I want to come in. This is a form of communication.
Yeah, but it's also a custom.
You're fully about
Like, remember we said culture consists of customs, traditions, and so forth. Yeah.
So I think
It's actually a lifestyle.
it's someone that just improved a way of communication.
Evolved.
Yes, so
you have to be
evolved.
free with that.
Evolved.
So if we go back to
No,
you remember
Wait. Remember how they used to communicate?
they'd be like,
Like ringing one, two, someone would go up with him with a drum.
and then
Or
shout.
someone would light a fire and then the smoke, they would know that there is something else. That was a message. That was a message sent out to them. So are you saying now you're gonna stick?
No, it's not only from that angle, man. I mean, like, we're talking about, like,
Yeah.
you don't even know about your lineage.
Bro, yeah.
No, but we have now devices where
You're not even.
Look at you.
Can you use it, bro?
That's a fact. Yeah, I was
Look at you.
Yes, I understand where it's coming from.
Alright, tell us, what exactly are you trying to say?
That we shouldn't get rid of, like, you know, the oral traditions we're talking about. Because when I
Yeah,
say
but-
we're like, nah, who would engage in such? Look
I think
at phones.
that was due to look at Gogos and Sekurus we have.
That's what I'm saying. That
What was the second?
They're now too modern, man.
and also they're forgetting. Oral tradition is biased somehow.
I know, but still it was part of us.
Yo, so I will share this. There's a guy. He said, you know the Mkanyas, bro. They are actually. He said 10. It'll be 7% of everyone that you meet is either Mkanya.
Okay.
Or they identify themselves as Toko, or they are Piggies.
Okay, right.
He said that it's 70% of the people of whom you meet. So what he mentioned is because they are Mkanyas, they are actually, greater than just being Mkanya. They are territorial, number one. And number two, they come from a far backdated history. In the sense that they go back to identify themselves in the Rosa state.
Alright.
And then the Rosa state, they believed that they actually played a crucial role in being recognized within the state. because Changamire of the Rose Estate, he asked for a certain person to go and search for a mineral which was very, very valuable to them.
Yeah.
So what he did, he invited everyone of the different totems.
Yeah.
And then there were Mukanyas. You know Mukanyas, they don't like water. So Makuda, I didn't go, you know. But this mineral now was only found underneath the water. So what happened now? This is so funny. This is why I think...
Get into it, Brendan.
We're listening. So what happened is, when all these people were put together, the Mukanya, the sister, actually just jumped into the water quickly.
And then what happened?
And then she went underneath the water and found the mineral. And when she came back,
I'm going waiting.
that's so crazy. So when she came back, she handed
the mineral
to Middlesex, and then she was recognized. But then, you know, this is the interesting part. She wouldn't allow herself to be recognized as more superior to her brothers.
Okay.
So then she handed the throne to the brothers.
Alright.
To the Mukanyas now.
And
so these Mukanyas, they became very, very popular within the state.
Okay.
And they deformed from it, or they debarked from the state. Then they went on to do their own things. And when they started doing their own things now, within the Mukanyas, they started marrying themselves.
like marrying.
Yeah, they started,
incest.
Yeah. So now, when they did the incest thing, so no. So when they did this whole thing, the king or whoever was ruling within these people, they said, you've done a bogus thing. We're chasing you away from me. So guess what? He left, and then he went to Mureo.
Okay, comes.
So the Mureo comes from Kuti. This guy is recognized as someone Akare
Like G.
I
thought it was about the Jew.
No, it's Mureo. It's so
like
so within the people now. So every Mureo is in Ghana. You should look into that.
Oh yeah, but
so the people would recognize him. So I end up so they'll say, so then he formed his own races and
they couldn't Mureo.
So which is a funny thing, right? But so with these traditions, he established his own place, and it became a famous place that everyone would point and be like, Pamreo.
But yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Because imagine whenever you meet someone and they're like, Unoere, what's your totem? You're like, Soko, Soko, no, this is Takazuenda, Uko, and stuff, and yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, so
you should be a historian.
No, I get this from a person. You should be a historian.
You can't rely on me.
You should be a historian. You should be. No, but it actually makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, so every place that you see that is named in Shona, it's actually relating to these people.
Oh, right.
The Rosary, they actually go back to, I don't know if it's Zambia or Mozambique.
Okay.
It's the Lozi people. You know the Lozi people. These Lozi people and the Rosary people,
They were being taught.
hey, these Lozi people and the Rosary people, they're actually the same people. They are defined by being very, very vicious people. And they so these people, when they were coming from Mutare to go and stay wherever they
Did you go in a history class? I mean, like Brendan is. Go on, Brendan. Go on.
So they would capture everything.
Yeah.
Or everyone. And then they would, put them in the state.
Alright.
So now these people, Bangawa kept going, they're like, what was this Bangatina? Jason Shona there, it was very deep.
I know.
Yeah. So, kurozwa, kuchorera vanhu, or kubira vanhu, or kupamba vanhu.
Oh.
So now they become a rosy state. These people, they are known as the conquerors.
They are the conquerors.
Yeah, they're the conquerors, man. So, shout out to the guy that told me this.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So,
You can tell that Brendan went to school.
bro, come.
Decided to look for
I
this
was
thing.
taught by that guy.
Yeah, but at least we can be proud that Brendan is a quick
At least
learner.
he's by our side.
Yeah.
Bro,
We are proud to have
man, I'm
We
glad
should
to
call
be
you
here.
our podcast historian.
That's another.
Yeah, but with one gun, eh?
Hey.
No, but talking about culture, I don't think we need to dwell only on or put much emphasis on like the old culture. Think about how it has evolved now. We have slang.
Money.
Yeah, that's a culture. There is no way of running away.
I think that's a link.
That's a culture.
It's more like.
No, it's a lingo, but still, that's a culture. Come
So
on,
how
it's a culture.
would you identify these people?
Oh, I'm at 2000. Man, I'm at 2K is a culture of its own. Come on, these guys are doing like crazy things. No, trust me, bro. No, guys, I know it's sounding funny. No, I'm not attacking
Our audience.
No, but they have to know that it's a culture already.
So I'm at
Like, this is a culture. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a culture. It's a culture.
What are they known for?
What do you want to say?
It's a generation.
It's a generation.
It's a generation by now. Come on, guys, they're now a culture. With his own culture.
How do they come up with their own culture? Yet they had.
Like I said in the beginning, a culture can be started by someone.
So we're just letting people
Imagine
their own
the
culture, no matter what culture we have,
It's
if
evolving.
they come after us,
They were part of another culture and now they're evolving into
that's a
something.
good thing.
Amatuki is a culture.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
No, okay, fine. So, like you said, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I think there's like some of it which is good, then there's some of it which is bad. Okay, look at us. I don't know. Many elderly people would say that these youths are losing themselves. They're losing
It doesn't remind me. Okay. Bro,
Yes.
I was about to go to school. Okay, I'm actually seeing this speech. I'm standing before my mom.
I hate it when someone laughs before
She's making my lunchbox. She takes a piece of bread and then she puts my veg. Guess what, man? This is my lip fast of the bread.
Listen to how he's showing how he's speaking. That's a culture!
Bro, so are you saying that, I was actually foreseeing what will happen?
Why did she do that?
Because she realized
You're actually deviating from
Yeah.
what she knows.
What have been
how, yeah, and she, I think as a parent, she would have been like, man, what am I raising this kid to be? What is
Bro, this is like my liver.
It's actually my
Bro,
sister.
that's why I'm telling you that it's now a culture. Trust me, in the next 50 years or so, do you think things like Lobola would exist?
Bro,
In the next 50, 60 years,
No.
it's starting to fade. Do you think the Shona language itself, will it still be around? They are like variants of Shona languages meant like way too many.
Shona Pro, Shona Light.
Yeah, and it's happening not only to Shona but many other languages. So I speak very little, like average. And I was in a taxi the other day, and I had these two guys, the driver and another passenger speaking. Man, what they say? I was like, guys, wait. Where are you from? Is that the really? No. No, imagine for me, someone who's like a Shona saying, guys, go. That's not it.
I think that's just
Like they were putting in like fancy words in them and
that's just how our Ndebele friends speak our show.
I know, but imagine. This is why I'm saying this is also another culture, not necessarily another culture or entirely another culture, but it's evolving into something.
Yeah.
It's evolving. This is like a baseline culture that is evolving into something else. It's like, okay, I would say that it's about the newer generations adapting to the same culture in how they want it to be done.
But would you go back?
I'm not saying it's right.
Would you go back to embracing the, first lived culture?
There are things to embrace and things to keep up. That's what's happening.
Man, there are other things that didn't make sense, even up to today.
Like
they don't make sense. But there are also other things, like, I would say it's 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
You would take 50, you'd leave 50.
Okay.
The other things you will be like, no, what is this? Imagine, okay, so whenever you go to like family gathering, not all of us are church members of Christianity. So you go to a family gathering and there are these like norms and rituals that they want you to do. Yeah. And you end up asking, why do I have to do this? And you're gonna have to whisper because if someone hears you or you say you're loud, you'll be like, hey,
blasphemy.
You've actually raised this son out of our ways. And look at him now.
Lazarus
is the embarrassing. Yeah, they would view you as someone who's lost from the culture. I think that's why we keep on going back to the question, is it our identity? I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
But in a way, people will start identifying themselves.
So people are changing identity time by time.
Like the identity
Culture is changing, then it means identity is.
Identities. Oh man, think about it. Now,
Yeah, I mean like
now the pronouns he or she, you can't even use them safely.
you need another one.
You need another one. So what you say? Yeah, there's always an extra one. Like it's coming. It's coming. It's already happening everywhere. You are no longer allowed to call someone he or she.
You call them what they want.
Yeah, you call them what they want. They or something like that. Yeah. So that's already a culture, you see.
Bro, this is so hard.
Yeah, like things are changing.
Yeah, but
so most of it is changing for the good. Most of it is. I think it's still, like I said, back then, you would take 50 and drop 50. I think you would also take 50 and drop 50 from other cultures as well.
Man, but which country do you think they're really so embracing of their culture?
I would say the Chinese.
Oh, far away then?
Yeah, you know how,
like, because I'm just thinking of Swaziland.
Swaziland.
Yeah.
do you know that, no, in China, man, Christianity is still like a small deal. They have like their own religions. Man, it's huge. It's huge. Those people, like, they respect where they come from. So think about the Chinese, the Japanese, the Koreans. Those guys are immensely rooted in their cultures. Even the people from Thailand, yeah.
Bro,
So all those people.
Yeah. Man, Africans, I think Africans, we're a better example when it comes to
Do you know that
they quickly drop their traditions and cultures and jump onto.
Do you know that they're still doing?
Maybe it's because of the colonization.
Do you know they're still doing the tradition in Swaziland of picking a wife?
Yeah, that one happens every year.
Bro,
That one happens. Even I was once in
Swaziland. They have a king, right?
yeah, it's a monarchy.
They gotta do it.
bro. So are we saying the prince of